Gameranx presents another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and some of our thoughts on the latest games releasing. And today we're talking about Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy game. This is episode 1, Tangled Up in Blue. Yep, let's cut right to the chase. This is another episodic Telltale game. These are coming out so quickly now, it's almost hard to keep up. Thankfully though, judging from the first episode, it seems like Guardians is going to stand out from the crowd of Telltale games, which I think is a good thing. Right out of the gate, you get a great action setup scene. I'm not going to spoil much, but it's a pretty great setup, and it flips a few conventional Guardians of the Galaxy comic things on their heads, similar to how the Batman game did. You know, a lot of established things in a universe that you take for granted, they found a way to kind of change it up a little bit on you. Thankfully though, it's still pretty accessible, but I think it goes without saying that you should have seen the movie and be more familiar with these characters in the universe and the politics by now. But the game does exist in its own bubble, with things going down that don't quite seem to line up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Characters here are clearly very much based around the movie versions, but with a little more creative liberty taken, and I think it's just enough. The character designs are pretty damn good, and the voice acting is exactly what's needed, especially Nolan North as Rocket Raccoon. It's pretty hilarious. Now, look, I've seen some Telltale fans on their forums and stuff saying that this feels a lot more in line with Tales from the Borderlands, with its emphasis on like the choices truly mattering and the game being loaded and more focused around the fun, quirky character moments, and I'd pretty much agree. You're straight up most of the time Star-Lord here, guiding the story, and the Guardians themselves making all the important decisions. A lot of it is focused on trying not to alienate any single one member of the team, but you'll quickly learn that you can't please everybody, and it's a hard line to walk. It's actually painful, and it makes the decisions really, really tough, and I think that's good. It's tricky though with characters that already exist in a huge universe who already have established personalities, especially as Peter Quill Star-Lord. Choosing some of his dialogue options sometimes seems weird because sometimes some of the choices seem very much a Peter Quill thing that he would say, and then sometimes it seems like it's just something that you would want to say as a nice person. It's not too jarring, honestly. I'm just nitpicking because I don't have a lot of problems, but it is something to take note, and I think hardcore fans of the character might raise an eyebrow. The game looks and handles scenes and animations way better than previous Telltale games. This is in line with stuff from Walking Dead Season 3, if not maybe a little better. The only thing though is Peter Quill's weird walking animation. Look at this. He walks like a baby learning to take its first steps. It's not a big deal, but it does look bad, and it's funny. Now, I know not everyone is a fan of Telltale's step away from the comic book graphics cel-shaded look, but here I think it totally works. However, though, you might remember I did say in a Friday show that Peter Quill's face looks like a cigarette. He looks weird, and I stand by that. Otherwise, it has a nice style to it. But just a heads up, this footage was captured on a PC with highest settings. Thankfully, that awkward walking animation I talked about, you don't see it much. The two brief moments where it becomes like a point-and-click game where you walk around and look for clues and talk to people, it just drags things down so abruptly. The rest of Guardians is an awesomely paced, really exciting, entertaining experience, but then it suddenly feels like an uninspired point-and-click that was included just for the sake of it. This is where, and this might sound kind of bad, I almost wish this were an animated movie or something. That, or have the game lean even more into interactive storytelling, which Guardians already does really great. You know, you're making big branching decisions right from the start. It's clear. And I can see scenarios and encounters going in multiple ways, thankfully begging for replays, especially if you're looking for that replay value. Since in this one there were really only like 2.5 scenes that were straight up point and click adventure, it's not a big portion of the game, and I like when it just keeps on stepping forward, and I'm hoping that in the later episodes they lean away from point and click even more, because it just seems to slow things down, and it doesn't really fit in with this game. And that's because there's a lot of action scenes, and the action scenes are actually involving, fun, and smooth. Yeah, okay, look, it's a glorified QuickTime event to some people, but they're really well done, cinematic, and enjoyable here. Not to mention here, the game has some good licensed music, making it feel even more so like something distinctly Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy. In summation, I guess, this game starts off not like you'd expect. It explores aspects of a character you wouldn't really expect, and it establishes a decent enough villain and the larger universe elements without coming off too over-exposition-y like some first episodes of Telltale games. It'll take you about 2 hours to get through this one, and I'm pretty sure you'll have a few laughs. I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, or if you're a fan of a Telltale game. It is worth checking out. Of course, I can't speak for the rest of the episodes going forward. The game could lose some steam, but judging from its first outing, things do seem pretty promising. But that's how a Before You Buy works, guys. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion thrown in there, but now I definitely want to hear yours. The game released today. I'm sure a lot of you have already cruised through it who were excited, so I do want to hear what you think about it. Maybe if you haven't played it, or you're curious, or maybe you're a huge Guardians of the Galaxy or Nova fan, I do want to hear what you think down in the comments. And without getting into spoilers, if you did play the game, let me know in the comments who you pissed off more, Rocket or Gamora. Let's talk about anything Guardians of the Galaxy down in the comments. I'll be there with you guys answering as much as your questions, but I'll also be on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as well if you have any more. You guys know the deal though. Thanks so much for coming around. We love doing these videos. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and we really appreciate it. But subscribing if you're new is a good idea because we put out videos every single day. But as always, always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
To whatever comes our way next.
May it bathe us in glorious units.
No, we should toast to the dead. May they be avenged.
I am Groot.
To friendship? How boring.
Very well, to dead friends then.
Let's just drink already.
Well, we haven't killed each other yet. Nice work, Peter.